Plenty to dissect about the move of some parts of our area to an orange zone of the state's microcluster strategy. So let's bring in Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me back on the show.
Can you tell us, we've got a lot of questions, when would this orange zone actually start, the restrictions that come with that?
Well, first of all, there are two areas where we have different dates. The effective date for businesses is going to be Wednesday, and for schools it'll be Thursday. Give them a little more time for the teachers to prepare. So that's the time frame that the governor announced today.
We kind of saw this coming. The governor essentially warned us on this. Would you anticipate of what you're seeing numbers that we may see an expansion of orange or even more yellow than we're seeing right now, the way the numbers seem to be shaping up?
Well, I can give you the experience what we've seen elsewhere. I'm in Erie County, went from having very good numbers to now being most of Erie County, Buffalo, New York, in an orange zone, and we don't know if we're going to go from orange to red any day now. So it's very fluid, but there's one thing that we in government cannot control, and that is people's behavior. People's behavior will directly affect whether those numbers go down over the Thanksgiving holidays, when we have people gathering, when we have kids coming back from college, we have people going out and shopping on Black Friday. We're in a very, very vulnerable time, and so we can't predict. But if we continue on the rate we're going, the rate of infection going up in Onondaga, for example, of 5% 7-day average, that's a very bad trend. And it can stop right now with people's behavior, or it can escalate, or it can stay on the same trajectory. So that's something we don't know, but it is a very frightening time.
We're still looking at the exact map, who might fall in, who might fall out of it, but clearly there are going to be businesses in that orange zone here. They're going to have to close. What do you say to them? You know, they're going to say, we've been careful, we're following those COVID protocols, we can't take another shutdown. Is there any help for them? I mean, what would you say? Can the state help them out at all?
First of all, we never wanted to be in this situation. And I call on them to join me in calling out the significant minority of people who are flagrantly violating the rules that have been in place to make sure we could keep businesses open. If everybody wore a mask, if they stayed apart, they didn't have large gatherings, they didn't watch football games together or gather and have dinners inside, we wouldn't even be here. So I understand the frustration. I come from a business family. It's devastating. Absolutely. We've been to this once. We begged we would never have to go to this again. But in terms of help, what is so frustrating is that the federal government, and I'm referring to the current administration and the Senate Republicans, they have the power today to enact the same kind of assistance for local governments as well as for businesses that we had last spring. That's what kept our economy from imploding. More money for unemployment insurance, money for businesses directly. That money should be freed up this second because the numbers are heading off the charts, not just in parts of New York, like Onondaga and Erie and parts of downstate, but other states as well. So this is not just helping New York anymore, which they were opposed to initially. Now it's the whole country. Get your act together, get some money flowing so we can help the Main Street mom and pop businesses that are taking it on the chin right now.
Let's talk about schools in those orange zones. Again, trying to figure out exactly which ones will fall into this orange zone here. They would have to close for cleaning and testing. What is that threshold to test out of remote-only learning?
Well, we want to make sure that particularly that schools keep the K-8 open. So we're trying very hard, even if the numbers are a little bit higher and someone is in an orange zone or a yellow zone, that they can actually continue schooling once they've had the 4-day shutdown. Now, the reason for the 4 days is cleaning and also for people to get tested. Don't come back into the building unless you can demonstrate you've had a negative test. So the county will be working very hard to work with the school districts, as they have been, to make sure that everyone is tested before they go back. Once they're back, you're going to continue doing a regular sampling of 25% of the school population, students, teachers, administrators, every week to make sure that those numbers do not escalate. But right now, what we're seeing elsewhere is that the school rate of infection is much lower than the community spread. So in that sense, the children are safer back in school getting an education as long as we follow these very strict protocols. The bottom line is, we're approaching Thanksgiving. I am pleading with my friends in Syracuse, where I spent 4 years of college. I spent a lot of time there. Please be smart. Only have Thanksgiving with the people in your immediate pod, the people you've been with through and through, not just your kids. My kids from out of town were told, don't come home. It breaks my heart as a mom. But this is the only way we're going to keep people safe and keep those numbers from escalating with more hospitalizations and ultimately more deaths.
Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul joining us tonight. Can't thank you enough for being here, and hope to have you back so we can ask you a few more of those questions I have for you.
Certainly, I'll be happy to. Thank you.
Thank you.